going to record this and share my screen with you. And hopefully that's visible to you all. And what we're going to look at today is different kinds of finessing situations, and in particular, looking at the danger hand in different situations. So let's start off with a straightforward example where you open one no trump, there's a 2-heart overcall, and north your partner bids 3 no trump. Here today we are playing weak no trumps. We're bidding the ACOL system. If you're playing strong no trump, you would bid this slightly differently, but you might well get to the same contract. So here you are in 3 no trump, and the opponents lead the king of hearts, and down comes dummy, and we're going to stop to make a plan, and we'll start by counting our top tricks. So let's do that. In spades, we've got 4 top tricks. In hearts, we've got 1 top trick. In diamonds, we've got the ace of diamonds, that's 6 so far. And in clubs, we have 2 top tricks, the ace and king. So we start out with a very healthy 8 top tricks. And I hope you can see the best chance to make more tricks is in the club suit, especially if we can avoid losing to the queen of clubs. We could make a total of 5 clubs here. But we are quite vulnerable, especially in hearts. And this is a situation where when the opponents lead a suit, we assume that West, based on the bidding and the lead, have got at least a 5-card heart suit. And this is a situation where we should duck the first heart. There's a rule, the rule of 7, which says in this situation, you add the number of cards you have in the suit you're worried about, hearts here, and that's the number of times to duck. So 7 minus 6 is 1, and that suggests you duck 1. So let's do that. They let them win the first trick. Assuming they carry on with hearts, we win the second, and East discards. So we now know for sure that East has got no more hearts. And now we want to play the, we can cash the spades if you like, but at some point we want to play the clubs, and we want to play the clubs in such a way that West cannot gain the lead. West is the dangerous opponent here, because if he gains the lead with the queen of clubs, I'm just going to mute everyone again. There's a bit of background noise. Let's mute everyone. If West gains the lead with the queen of clubs, they'll be able to run the heart tricks because we have no more stoppers. So this is a straightforward example. We're going to play the clubs in such a way that West, the dangerous opponent, cannot gain the lead. So we might start by leading a low club over to the king, and then we're going to play the 9. We're going to finesse the 9, play the 9, and unless West covers with the queen, we'll let it run around. And if we're lucky, the 9 will win the trick, and now we'll be able to take the rest of the clubs. The queen drops there, and we'll be able to make 2 clubs and take our spades. And at the end, we've got the ace of diamonds to make 11 tricks. We'll lose the last one. So you can see we were somewhat lucky there that the club finesse succeeded. And we, the way we finessed, we prevented West from gaining the lead there. If the club finesse had not succeeded, then East would have gained the lead, but East at that point had no more hearts. Let's try another one. And this is same bidding here. So again, they lead the king of hearts. And again, we count our top tricks. We've got, again, 4 spades, 1 heart, 1 diamond, and 2 top clubs. This time, though, we have 1 more club. We've got a total of 9 clubs between the north and south hand. Let's suppose we play as before, and we lose the first one and win the second one. We're now going to, you could cash your spades, but at some point you're going to turn your attention to clubs. And when you play the clubs, you have some choices about how you play this. You could try the finesse as you did last time, or should you just cash the ace and king of clubs? So that's the subject of the first poll. How are you going to play the clubs? Are you going to win the king of clubs and then finesse the nine? Or are you going to try the finesse the other way? Or are you just going to cash the ace and king of clubs? So have a go at that poll. And the question is, how are you going to play the clubs? Let's have a look at your results. We have very choices for all three options there. 44% or 28%, with the most popular choice being play the king of clubs and then finessing the nine. And let's have a look at that and see what we think. Well, you may well have come across the rule, and it is a good guideline, that here with nine cards in the club suit, the normal way to play that is to cash the ace and the king. And that does indeed give you a slightly over 50% chance. I think it's 52.5% chance if you play that way that the queen will drop, that the queen will be a singleton or a doubleton, rather than trying the finesse. But this time it's a different situation. And because you're so worried about the heart suit, what you want to do is to play in such a way that West cannot gain the lead. In other words, don't just play the ace and king and hope that the queen drops, because if West has three clubs, including the queen, they will then be able to get in before you can make enough tricks to make your contract, and they'll run the hearts. So although with nine cards you normally play the ace and the king, this time you shouldn't. This time the best line to play is to play the king and then finesse the nine. Play the nine and let it run around. And if you're lucky, as in here, East discards here. So now West has just got the queen left, and you can draw it with your ace, cash your clubs, and just as before, take your top spades and your ace of diamonds to make 11 tricks on that one. If you had tried this and found that the division was something like this, with East having the queen of clubs, then what would happen if you played it as before is you win that second heart trick, play the clubs, but when you play the second round, West discards. So you now know the finesse is going to fail. So you may as well let East win this one, because East cannot attack you in hearts. You can see you're very vulnerable in hearts here, but whatever East plays, you've still got a stopper in with the ace of diamonds, and now you can cash your remaining clubs. So even though the finesse failed there, you still make your contract because you prevent West from gaining the lead. So at the end, you just lose the last trick, but make 10 tricks there. So that guideline of play with nine cards, playing the ace king, is something you shouldn't do in this case, because if it goes wrong and West has three clubs, then you won't make your contract, whereas you're guaranteed to make it if you finesse against West in this situation, remembering West was a dangerous opponent. Do stop me if you have any questions on this, and we'll try another one here. Here again, you've gone 1 no trump, 3 no trump, and the opponent's lead a heart. And again, we're going to stop to count our top tricks. This time we've got, 3 spades, 2 diamonds, and 1 club. So that's 6 tricks there. And that lead guarantees us a heart trick there. So we've got 7 tricks here. Let's suppose East plays the jack and we win that first trick with the king. And again, we've got 7 top tricks now, and we're going to go after more tricks this time in diamonds. And the question is, how are we going to play the diamonds? And you need to think about who is the dangerous opponent here? The dangerous opponent is the opponent you don't want to gain the lead. So in other words, east or west, one of them has got the queen of diamonds. And if they win the trick with the queen of diamonds, which is the opponent that is more dangerous if they now switch back to hearts? So that's the second poll. On this hand, which is the dangerous opponent? Is it west or east? Have a look at the answers. And by 2 to 1 or 70% to 30%, most of you have said west. Most of you have said that west is the hand you don't want to get into lead. Sorry, let me find the right switch right hand there. Yeah, it's this one. That west is the one that you don't want to get into lead. Well, let's think about this. It looks from the leads that west has probably led their fourth highest heart against 3-no trump. So it does indeed look like west probably has the longer heart suit. But what's different on this hand is that you still have the queen of hearts. And if west gains the lead, say with the queen of diamonds, with the queen of diamonds, your queen of hearts is protected. But this time it is east who is dangerous. East is the hand you want to keep off lead, because if east gains the lead with the queen of diamonds, then if they switch to a heart, your queen of hearts may well be trapped. So what we're going to do, most of you got this one wrong, I'm afraid. The dangerous opponent this time is east. East is the one we want to keep off lead. So we'll play the diamonds in that way. What we'll do is maybe cross to dummy, and we'll play maybe the 10 of diamonds, and we're going to let it run around. We're finessing against east, and if we're lucky, the finesse will succeed. And now we can play the diamonds again, take our top diamonds, cross to dummy again, and our last 2 diamonds are good. And we've got a spade to come and the ace of clubs. So after this, the opponents, I think, will get in, and they may, let's just bring up the 4 hands at this point. We may even make a trick with our queen here if west gains the lead and leads the ace of hearts and another heart. What would happen, though, if the finesse had failed? Let's look at this hand again, but this time I've put the queen of diamonds in the west hand rather than the east hand. We're going to play as we did before, but this time when we let the 10 of diamonds go around, west wins with the queen of diamonds. But can you see that your queen of hearts is protected? So if west leads a heart, now you're going to make a trick with your queen. Whereas if east had got in with the queen of diamonds, then they could lead a heart and your queen of hearts would be trapped. So this is an interesting one, because the dangerous opponent is not the one with the long heart suit, but the dangerous opponent is east here. So whatever west does here, if they play a low heart, will win the queen. And now we can take the rest of the diamonds. And we've got the spades to take. And played that way, we'll make 10 tricks there. They'll win the last 2 tricks, but we'll still make our contract there. Do let me know if you have any questions on that one. And it's well worth thinking about that and trying to realize which is the opponent you want to keep off lead. That's what we mean by the dangerous opponent. Let's try the next one. And I'm going to start with a bidding question for you. North here has opened 1 club. You responded 1 heart. There was a 2 diamond overcall by west, and then it went pass, pass, back to you. And I've got the next poll for you. What do you think south should rebid here? Have a look at your results. And most popular response was two no trump, followed by three no trump, and then two clubs. And let's see what we think. Well, we have how many points? 8, 9, 10, 15 points. My partner's opened one club. And so I think we have enough points for game. And we don't seem to have a fit in a major suit here. And I don't really want to support my partner's clubs because I think I have a much better bid, which is to bid no trump. And with 15 points opposite an opening hand, yes, I should bid three no trump here. Two no trump would be more like 10 to 12 points. But both bids should show a diamond stopper. And you definitely do have a diamond stopper here. If you bid no trump, you'll be declarer. And if the opponents lead a diamond, you hope you'll be able to make two diamond tricks here because you think the long diamond suit is on your left. So yes, I agree with those of you who bid three no trump. And let's suppose you do bid three no trump. Let's suppose that ends a bidding. And let's suppose that West leads the six of diamonds. And again, let's stop to count our tricks. We've got two spades, two hearts, and two clubs. We're going to make at least one diamond, but we hope to make more tricks here in clubs. And again, we're missing the queen here, so we need to think about which is the dangerous opponent here. Let's suppose we play low from dummy, East plays the 10, and we win that first trick with the jack. So now we're going to think about our club suit. But before we do, we're going to think about who is the dangerous opponent here. Who is the player, the danger hand, that we want to keep off lead? Is it West or is it East? Which is the opponent we're worried about gaining the lead in clubs because we're a bit vulnerable in diamonds? So let's have a look at that one. And here's the poll for that. Which is the dangerous hand or the dangerous opponent? Have a look at the results. And this time, most of you have gone for East, with a small number going for West. And I agree, because you've got the king of diamonds here. And if that, because you've got the king, it means that if West gains the lead, your king of diamonds is protected. But that's not the case if East gains the lead. So what we're going to do is to try to keep East off lead. So we're going to do something like this, maybe cross to the ace of clubs, and then maybe lead a club here, play the 9, and we're going to try to finesse the 10. And again, if we are lucky, that finesse will succeed. And now we can draw the last club and cross to dummy, take our last clubs and our last spades and one more heart. And at the end, we'll lose the last two tricks, but we'll make 11 tricks. What would happen if the queen of clubs was in the west hand? So let's play this again as we did, but I've moved the queen of clubs to be in the west hand. So we win that first trick. We play the club with the ace, and then we play a club back. Here, East discards, so we can't avoid losing to the queen of clubs now. We may as well play the king. It doesn't really matter here, but we want to take the remaining clubs. And when West gains the lead with the queen of clubs, our king of diamonds is protected. There's nothing they can do. If they cash the ace of diamonds, they're just setting up my king, and I can win that and then take my remaining spades, my remaining clubs, and I've got the last two tricks. So again, I can make 11 tricks there, even though I lost to the queen of clubs. If I'd finessed the other way and East had gained the lead with the queen of clubs, then I'm very vulnerable in diamonds, because if they switch to a diamond, then I may well lose all the remaining diamonds. Remember, I've just got the king and the nine left. So these situations involving thinking about the danger hand, it's not always a hand with a long suit. It can be the other hand, depending on your holding. And let's have a look at a couple more. This time, North, your partner opens one diamond. There's a two club overcall, and you really probably should bid three no trump here. You've got 12, 15 points here. No particular fit for your partner's diamonds. And let's suppose you play in did three no trump. And let's suppose your opponents lead a club. And again, let's stop to count our top tricks. We've got three spades, two hearts, two diamonds. So that's three spades, two hearts, two diamonds, and the club. So we start off with eight top tricks here. And it looks like we can make more in diamonds, but we're missing the queen and the jack. And we're worried about East getting in. East has got the long club suit. So we want to try to prevent East from gaining the lead. Before we do that, though, when they play a club, we need to think about whether to win this one or not. We started with six clubs here. So if we use the rule of seven, that would suggest we duck once. So let's duck once and win the second one. And what we now want to do is play the diamonds and give ourselves the best chance of avoiding losing to the dangerous opponent. Here, the dangerous opponent is East, because we know they've got the long club suit. So how can we avoid losing to East? Well, it's not guaranteed, but to give yourself a good chance to avoid losing to East, what we can do is cross to dummy and then lead a diamond. And if East plays the jack or the queen, we're going to beat it with the ace because we don't want them to gain the lead and switch back to a club. But if they play a low diamond, we're going to play the 10. We're going to let West win the trick because they are less dangerous. Let's bring up the four hands and see how things might be. So if we play the 10 of diamonds, West can win the jack, but they are now out of clubs. East has got three good clubs to cash, but West cannot get there. So if he switches to a spade, we'll win that. And now we're going to play our diamonds, and we'll cash our ace of spades first, then go to the king of diamonds. And now our remaining diamonds are good. And we played the diamonds in such a way that we prevented East from gaining the lead. So we'll win all of these except the last trick, and we should make 10 tricks there. So observe that if you tried something else like cashing the ace king, and then the third diamond would be lost to East, who then will be able to run the clubs. And this line of play isn't guaranteed to work. If, for example, East had Queen, Jack, and another club, then you might not be able to prevent them from gaining the lead. But on situations like this, you may be able to prevent East from gaining the lead by that maneuver of leading from dummy and beating whatever they play, letting West win, but preventing East from winning. Anyway, let's try this final one here. And here we open one diamond. We are too strong for one no trump. I think if you're playing strong no trump, you would open that one no trump. But here you open one diamond. Your partner bids three diamonds after a one spade overcall, and you bid three no trump. You've got, I think, 15 points or so, and you've got a very good spade stopper. And the opponents lead the queen of spades. And we'll start off by counting our top tricks, as we always do. We've got two spades, one diamond, and two clubs. So we start off with just 5 top tricks. Let's count them again: 2 spades, 1 diamond, and 2 clubs. So we've got to make more tricks here. And there are 2 suits we're going to go after here. We can go after the diamond suit, where there's a finesse to try. And we can also make two tricks in hearts by forcing out the ace. So let's suppose we win that first trick with the, oh no, suppose we let that first one go and we win the second one, sorry. We win the second trick with the king of spades. And we're going to now have to play both diamonds and hearts. And the question is, which suit should we play first? Should we play the diamond suit first, try the finesse, or should we play the heart suit first? And that's the subject of the final poll. Which suit should you play now? The diamonds or the hearts, or are you going to play a club or a spade? Here's the last poll for you. Look at what you've put. And most of you have gone for diamonds, 71%, with 29% going for hearts. So let's switch back. Sorry if I can find the right one. Let's switch back and see what we think. Well, it's very tempting to play the diamonds here. And indeed, if the diamond finesse succeeds, you're going to make your contract here because you've still got a spade stopper. But it's when the diamond finesse doesn't succeed that you might be in trouble. Let's bring up the four hands and put up a possible layout here. So let's see what happens if we play the diamonds now, which is what most people chose. You can lead the queen of diamonds. Here it loses to the king, and East, unfortunately, still has a spade, which will knock out your last stopper. You can now cash your remaining diamonds, that's fine, but that's still not enough tricks to make your contract. And now, when you play the hearts, West will get in and will be able to cash two spades and defeat you. So you can claim the rest, but you'll only make 8 tricks there. It works out much better here if you play the hearts first, because you're going to lose a heart. And when that heart is lost, if a spade is continued, that will knock out East's last spade. So the way it will work is like this. You'll play the hearts first. If West lets you win that, you're going to play another heart back because you want another trick there. West wins that, and West can play a spade, which knocks out your last spade stopper. But now when you try the diamond finesse, which fails, East has no more spades. So whatever they play, if they play a club, you can win that. And now you can take your remaining diamonds. And you've got a heart and a club to take. So this one, you'll make your 9 tricks, but it was much better to play the hearts first. In fact, no matter, with this layout of spades then being 5-3, no matter how you play it, where the missing honors are, the honors you're worried about are the ace of hearts and the king of diamonds. No matter where they are, you can make your contract, but you have to play the ace of hearts early. So in other words, you have no choice about who wins the heart trick, but you do have some choice about who can win the diamond trick, which is only East here. So it makes sense to play the hearts first and then the diamonds. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. We'll end the talk there, and I'll stop sharing my screen.